I call the member for Orange.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Last week, the 14th of November, marked the second anniversary of the devastating floods that hit central western New South Wales, and towns across my electorate of Molong, Canowindra, Kewdowr, Forbes, Parkes and Eugowra were all significantly impacted by this event. At the time, it was described by the ABC Central West that it was a 1 in 5,000 year flood event. In its size, ferocity and subsequent damage were all unprecedented. Tragically, two local lives were lost on that fateful day in Eugowra, and there were over 80% of homes and businesses in Eugowra were damaged by the floods, and 1/3 of the township, or approximately 150 people, had to be rescued and being airlifted from their roofs due to the rising floodwaters. There was spontaneous volunteers who came out seeing their fellow citizens in need and risked their own lives to rescue others, and it was truly a remarkable stories of heroism and bravery on that fateful morning. Stories of people being stranded on rooftops, scrambling up trees and holding onto anything they could to secure themselves to escape the inland tsunami that came through that morning is a real story of survival. It was reported it was one of the largest air rescue operations currently in existence, with over a dozen helicopters rescuing people off their rooftops in Eugowra. They were rescuing people, they were rescuing pets from rooftops. Some of them were in fact in water, in flooded water up to their chest and neck. And if you go on YouTube, there's Life Flight have posted a video on YouTube that shows firsthand the situation and the extent of the flooding and the rescues that they conducted and carried out. And if it wasn't for them and other agencies like them, many more lives would have been lost. It is. Special mention also to, as I said, all the spontaneous volunteers, but also the too many to name to do justice to, but the local SES crews, the New South Wales Police, RFS, New South Wales Ambulance, and many of the other agencies who all came together that day in one of the largest rescue operations in New South Wales. In the post-flood clean-up, the Central West community have really banded together, helping their fellow citizens, and a special thank you to all the community groups who based themselves in Eugowra to assist in the clean-up, getting people back on their feet, many who had lost everything but the clothes they were wearing. Mr Speaker, but 2 years on, and where are things up to? Both the state and federal governments each committed $50 million for a total of $100 million in the support package for the 4 LGAs affected by these floods, that being Cabonne, Parkes, Forbes and Lachlan. And this was broken down into $28 million for the community assets, $32 million for transport infrastructure and $40 million for Resilient Homes package. And we certainly truly appreciate this support. And since February this year, I've been the chair of the Central West Community Leaders Forum, along with the 4 mayors and federal MPs, to look at the distribution and rollout of this funding. And from the outset, I, on behalf of the CLF and mayors, thank both the state and federal governments for this funding commitment. But without sounding ungrateful, I fear it will not be enough, especially the Resilient Homes program. Applications are now open for the Resilient Homes program, and I understand in total to date 116 applications have been received. This will consider potential buybacks, retrofits, rise-ups of flood-impacted homes. My concern is, however, that it will be oversubscribed and some people will miss out, and I implore governments, both state and federal, to please consider providing additional financial support to complement the homes package. I know the home assessment and flood-impacted homes will commence shortly, and this will be extremely welcome. The opportunity for experts to attend the properties and discuss resilient home measures with owners of the properties is certainly welcome. And by all accounts, from flood feedback from the Northern Rivers experience, this is a worthwhile component. However, time is of the essence and we must push on with this stage as ASAP. 2 years is a long time for people to wait. We've still got 100 pods or so housing flood-impacted residents who can't go back to their homes, who are waiting on repairs, and it's taking its toll. I'm acutely aware that these delays add an additional level of stress, anxiety on many of these people and my constituents. Another issue I wish to raise is in relation to Parkes Shire Council. They had critical assets, water assets, to the value of about $20 million damaged in the flood. They aren't eligible for any funding. I'd implore the government to seriously consider looking into that. I know there is an application currently before the Expenditure Review Committee They aren't available for any funding. Northern River's got $145 million for their critical water infrastructure assets that were damaged in their flood, and it's only fair and reasonable that the Central West also gets the same. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.